Good morning. Welcome to our
Hi.
Saturday writing live stream. Hi. I don't have Jamie with me today. I have Amy. Hey.
Hello.
So I am Gillian St. Kevin, writer of empowering gaslamp fantasy that confounds expectations. Amy, who are you?
I'm Amy Blood. I write romantic comedies. I have a series. Oh, look, here's one. I don't prepare this at all. This is terrible. That's the first one. Lots of French for ups. And then I have a query telling of Jane Austen's Persuasion. And at the moment, I'm doing Regency because, yeah, that's the retelling.
Yeah. And it's very good.
Thanks. But yeah, I'm writing historical romance at the moment, so it feels like, it's still romance, but yeah.
Yep. Fantastic.
Something different.
So the reason Amy is here instead of Jamie is because Jamie is having an awesome time at Armageddon. I asked Jamie to share photos with us and make us jealous in the Discord. Jamie obliged, and I am now very grumpy that I am not at Armageddon. It looks so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is she all set up? I'm not on the Discord very often.
They've made like book posters and decorated the wall behind their table, and it looks so professional. And then they've got Anna's there with her soaps, and then Jamie and Anna Klein. So there were two Annas, so it's a bit confusing.
Oh gosh, that's confusing.
And their books look amazing, and they've already sold some, which is fantastic.
Sorry, I'm just going to shut this door.
But yeah, so hopefully Jamie might be popping in to give us a live update, but only if they're not busy. So if we don't hear from them, it's a good thing. It means they're having an amazing time.
True.
Yeah.
Have you ever done like book fair sorts of things?
I've done the Wham Bam Author Jam, which was organised by Stacey Broadbent here in Christchurch. I say here in Christchurch, I'm in Omahe right now.
I'm in Christchurch.
Yeah.
I went to that one too. I think that's the only time I've like had a stall and
And it's so cool, isn't
had
it?
all my books on display.
Yep, I think
some people were so organised and had like, stands and merch, and I was like, how am I going to arrange these books with nothing? But yeah, it was fun.
Stacey's taken sort of like a few years off organising events to concentrate on her own writing, which fair enough. But I've been wondering if I am brave enough to attempt trying to organise something, because I loved that event. It was so much fun.
Oh, you should do it.
Yeah.
You've got lots of connections too, like different communities that Stacey probably wasn't a part of. Like, you'd probably be able to cast the net a little wider, because you'd still have those people who were hooked in with Wham Bam Author Jam, which is a great name.
It's such a great name.
But you'd probably also be able to reach out to like Society of Authors and romance writers and like anyone affiliated with Ngaio Marsh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of other, you got your fingers in the pies.
Okay, so I know it's not a totally crazy idea, which is both good and bad.
Definitely not. No pressure.
The other events that I was part of, 2 years, separate groups organised separate rainbow markets.
Fun.
It was so much fun, and those were really unexpected because they weren't book focused, and I was both times the only author there. But like the first time I was next to a lady selling crystals and incense, and then there was an artist on the other side of me. last time I had an artist who was making sort of pots and stuff on my left, and I was on the corner, but across from me was like handmade jewelry and clothing and stuff. So
cool.
yeah, there were
I
also
feel like that would be cool because you'd have like a much bigger pull. I feel like one of the problems or the challenges with like a book fair book, like a really book focused thing, is that the people who are going to come are probably friends and families of the people who are selling their books, and then readers who are already big fans of maybe one or two of the authors who probably already bought all their books, right? Like we were going to anyway. But that would draw a much bigger pool of people who maybe never came across you before.
Yeah, at my most successful event was the last Rainbow Market, where I sold more books at that than I've ever sold live, and none of my writing friends came to that.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But at every single event I've attended, somebody has been like, "Oh my God, you're queer. I'm queer. I had no idea anyone was writing queer books."
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So,
like,
and that kind of, because it's quite a big commitment time wise, and you probably spend quite a lot of money and time on setting yourself up for it. And it's hard to kind of justify that in a busy life with lots of other draws on your time and money.
but
when you are likely only reaching people you could reach digitally for less time and money. But if you can reach people you wouldn't be able to find otherwise, then especially people who feel like they're not represented in fiction, which just is so worthwhile. Yeah.
So there is kind of in the Certificate of Small Business Management course, I will never shut up about this course. We kind of talk about this, like the financial bottom line, and then there's the other bottom line, which is the like intangible benefits. And
yeah,
I think most authors don't kind of cover their costs at book fairs and events, but the other benefits are important and should be considered. Hi, Billy. We're not being jealous of Jamie and Armageddon. But yeah, I think the fact that you meet people and
the community building stuff is huge. Yeah.
A few years ago, actually, at the Christchurch Armageddon, I was a volunteer on the Japan embassy table. They were promoting the the Rugby World Cup in Japan that time. And so during my break, I walked around and had a look at, I had a chat with a couple of authors who were at Armageddon and asked them, was it worthwhile? How did it work? And they were like, it's not financially worthwhile if you just look at it at the results of the day, but we have met people who became lifelong fans and friends through doing this. And one lady has a woman who comes to every event she goes to that's in I think it was Hamilton, and it's just the the connection we make.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was a lot of words to say that we wish we were at Armageddon, basically.
Yeah,
selling books.
Absolutely. Hey, we have a viewer. Good morning, Billy.
Yep.
I was like, this is nice. It's just me and Jillian catching up.
Yeah, now we have to
preaching to the choir on the value of creative communities, and
yeah, I think I've got a feeling that as a sculptor, Billy feels very strongly about the intangibles.
Hey, Jenna.
Oh, hey, Jenna. Awesome. Jenna, I'm not sure. You've probably met Amy in the chat, but this might be your first time seeing Amy on screen. Jamie's at Armageddon, which is it's probably New Zealand's biggest sci-fi
Comic-Con.
fantasy pop culture convention, right?
It's Comic-Con, right? Like it's
Yeah.
Comic-Con by another name.
Yeah, it's Kiwi Comic Con, and Jamie is there, and they have the most. We've been so all of the stream up to this point has been us being jealous of Jamie's amazing stand and how they've organized it. I'm even jealous of their blazer, like it's stars and stuff, and it looks amazing. Yeah, you should be jealous. They're having an amazing time. And yeah, I've actually bought my HB90. So Gina has just asked ready for HB90 on Sunday. I assume that's when the boot camp is kicking off. HB90 is an organizational method designed by a writer for writers. We're both big fans. And yeah,
I have no idea what it is, so tell me.
There's this awesome woman called Sarah Cannon who was struggling with productivity and basically designed a system that would meet her needs as an indie author. And it sort of combines goal setting, but with like realism and self-care. And recently she started breaking things down into task blocks, like looking at what time you actually have available and then using that to determine what you can realistically achieve so that you're setting yourself up for success rather than failure. And it's quarterly. The 90 and the HB90 stands for 90 days.
Nice.
So, yeah. So
I remember you talking about setting goals like resolutions, not for a year, but for a quarter. I remember you talking about that at our like goal setting thing at the start of the year at Romance Writers. And I thought that was quite cool because it kind of gives you that fresh start slightly more regularly.
Yeah, no, really.
So if it doesn't happen in if things don't go to plan, you can kind of go, oh well, it was just one quarter.
Yeah, I've actually had a really. At this point, I feel that Q2 did not go as I wanted it to, but I still have learnt a lot about where my time is going at the moment and how to adjust things for Q3. So Sarah you can do the boot camp, which is like a intensive sort of 1 week course that you do virtually that sets you up for the next quarter. I did it in January and I loved it.
So is it like sort of focusing on your goals and getting into those habits?
Yeah. But if you want to like do it yourself, which is what I did, as being sort of cheap the first time round, I just bought the planner. She has an Etsy shop, so you can just buy the planner. And this is what the planner looks like if you print it off at A5 size at Warehouse Stationery and don't tell them to double space side it. So it's probably it should be this thick, but it is good stuff. Okay.
You should bring it along on Sunday to Romance Writers if you come.
I totally will. I'm planning to come. It depends on whether or not someone can stay home with George. Otherwise, he'll be on his own for a very long time. Yeah, but yeah, I would. Otherwise, I would bring George, but I don't know if the library would like that.
Yeah, there's always dogs left. I mean, there's always dogs left. Sounds really bad. There's always dogs outside of the library, so they must not be allowed in unless they're service dogs.
Yeah, and George is definitely of no service to anyone.
Not going to cope with, and not going to cope with being left outside too.
Yeah. I took a shower this morning and he cried, so he's definitely not going to cope with me going to Romance Writers without him.
Oh my gosh, it's like having a baby.
It is. So George, I promise we will get to our warm up in a minute, but George has been.
Have you got something planned, or should I be coming up with something?
I've got the Wild Unknown.
Oh, perfect.
Here. Actually, I will start shuffling that. But oh my gosh, George, last night he woke up at 3 a.m. and started barking. So I was like, oh, the poor thing, it's probably cold. He needs to go out. And no, he just wanted to play. I took him outside, but no, he was more interested in chewing on the lead and jumping on me. So I popped him back in his crate and sort of sat with him for a little bit while he settled down. But then I went back to bed and slept until it was 7ish, which is kind of late for us. And George was barking again. And this time, fair enough, because it was wake up time. But I took him for a walk. And when we came back, he came rushing in the door. And Mum was like, so you made it back before no, that's my breakfast. And George just ran straight in the house, straight up to her plate of Marmite toast and waffles.
No.
Yep.
Well, at least it was something that's easily like remade. Like Marmite toast, you're like, okay, that was 5 minutes and we still have bread.
Yep.
You know, fingers crossed. Yep.
So
yesterday night I made a cake for my daughter's birthday party, which is today, and used up the sugar.
Yeah.
And didn't read the instructions very carefully. Even though it's a cake I've made so many times, but I put in normal flour, not self-raising flour.
Oh, yes.
So this morning when I woke up and I realized, I was like, these cakes really don't look right. And I cut out the center because she wants to have it filled with M&Ms. And I cut out the center and I was like, yeah, this isn't right. And I looked at the recipe and I was like, it does say self-raising flour. So I had to remake it, but I had to like go for a walk to buy sugar because we'd used it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Remaking is a bit soul-destroying. I was so onto it. I was like, all I have to do tomorrow is decorate the cake and tidy the house. And then I had to buy ingredients and bake as well.
So welcome, Rosalind. You are not late. We are actually super slow getting started. We're just sort of a bit too excited this morning. It kind of, yeah.
It's good. It's good Saturday energy. It's surprising.
Yeah. So
it's showing that I've already eaten quite a lot of buttercream. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to kick things off with our warm-up. So we're going to draw a tarot card basically, and then use the image and any kind of thoughts that come to mind as inspiration for a 5-minute just kind of brain dump. The purpose of this is not to write anything beautiful or poetic or anything. Our inner critic is going to shut up and just let us work. And then this will get our brains into creative mode so that we're ready to go for the work ahead. That was a terrible explanation, but here we go. The Ace of Wands. This is super exciting, actually, because we've got a beautiful little twig here with some blossoms just coming out. And the Ace of Wands, the wands are the deck of like creative energy and all of that. And the ace being like the first card in the deck is like in the suit is all about new beginnings and that energy of starting something new. So yeah, no wonder we've got great energy this morning, right?
I like it. And your explanation was fun.
Okay, so I have a timer ready for 5 minutes. Is everyone ready to go?
Yes, as ready as I can be. Yes.
Brilliant. Okay. 5 minutes starting now. Wow. Okay, so that was 5 minutes. Rosalind had a really good idea and used that time to do some edits, rewrites in my draft. I,
Nice.
despite starting a bit late, managed to fill up a whole column in my,
Nice.
which doesn't usually
Yeah.
happen.
I got about half a page too.
Brilliant. So
But
it
what I
occurred.
realized, oh, you go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, go, because I'm
Oh,
curious if we had the
okay.
same thought.
Well, is that I'm like right in the middle of everything. Like I'm not at the start of anything. Except like
Mm-hmm.
one job that I told my friend I was going to read a book and I've only read like the preamble. I haven't actually started it and I want to read it right away, not put it off. You know, when someone gives you something to read, you're like, add it to the list. No, I want to just do it first. It can cut to the front of the list. But I've been reading a lot of kind of just fun escapism lately, probably as a coping mechanism. And her book's not going to be that because it's about like her real life, which involved like a cult. So, you know, not fun times. But it seems very readable, but I haven't started. What I'm in the middle of though is, and this is the list. I'm halfway through right now. I'm halfway through a cake. Like there's a cake out there that I am halfway through making.
Yep.
I'm halfway through designing our friend Trisha's covers for her trilogy, and I'm realizing like, oh, some of the images are not going to be high enough quality. I've done this. Some of this effort's going to go to nothing. I'm halfway through editing a book, which is also halfway through a series. I'm halfway through the term. I'm halfway through the year, and it just feels like there's an awful lot left to do on all of these things. Slightly overwhelming. Yeah, that was my realization. Lots of
few
creative
weeks
energy,
ago,
but
I made myself a clear the decks list that was just stuff that I need to get over and done with. And that was a wee bit helpful with my overwhelm. My thought, though, was that this card related really nicely to the HB90 chat we were having about starting the quarter with like new energy. Yes, Billy, I agree. Amy is super.
those overcommitted. The word you're looking for is overcommitted.
But I've decided to channel this like excess of energy and excitement I have today into the new quarter because I love December and January because of the excitement of goal setting and getting ready for a new year. I just love goal setting and making plans. So I was like, okay, I've been kind of feeling meh about Q3 because I haven't done what I wanted to do in Q2. How about I just make it fun and exciting and let myself get started on the planning for Q3 and just you can't use this energy in a positive way that way.
I'm thinking of Matariki as my restart point. So we've got 2 weeks. 24th of June is the Māori New Year. So and it has a lot of like the meaning around it has a lot of that same connotations as New Year. So this year is the first year that it's celebrated as a public holiday in New Zealand. So we get a day off school, which is always exciting. Which is a big part of why I feel overwhelmed actually is just because too much of my week is at school and work and I don't have enough time to do all the things. But yeah, so I like that idea of clearing the decks. So I want to try and some of these things are not massive things. Like, okay, editing a book is pretty big, but some of those other things I could try and tick off within the next 2 weeks. And then at Matariki, have sort of a sense of not having this overwhelming to-do list and starting from fresh. So that might be a good goal.
Yeah. Awesome. It's funny that
carrying around the to-do list is heavy.
Yeah. For a writing stream, we do seem to spend a lot of time doing stuff that is not writing, but kind of writing adjacent. And I think that's
necessary
okay.
for writing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we are not writers divorced from the rest of our lives. We don't write in a vacuum, right? You write in a real house with real people and stuff and day jobs and
apparently Jane Austen's morning routine was that she would get up early, she would, go down to the kitchen, consult with, the servants about what needed to be done that day. And
That's
then
what I need. I need servants.
then she would take herself off to like the sitting room, and she would have a couple of hours in which she could write before the rest of the household kind of woke up and came downstairs and guests started arriving. And as soon as people sort of started showing up, she just hid her manuscript underneath her sewing, and that was it for the day. She never let people see her writing, and she never discussed her writing, which is just such a... I would struggle so hard in her shoes.
But she talked to her sister about it.
I think about the story and what she'd written, but not the writing part.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
She didn't have a writing life.
No, or writers groups.
Oh, that would be... Imagine. Okay, Amy, have I inflicted the Edgar Allan Poe's Murder
Yes. Oh my gosh, I loved it.
Wouldn't it be so cool to dress up like different Victorian authors and have a writers group? And
oh my gosh, you're probably right, Billy. She probably just was sick of having to justify herself to people who thought they knew better. Yeah. I can imagine Jane Austen just being like, well, and so many of her characters are silent with the people they're with, but very vocal in their minds about how stupid everyone is around them, right? So she was probably like that. She probably kept her mouth shut, but just inside her head was like this scathing, like, what do you know? Yeah.
I saw a post on Facebook that was something like, Jane Austen remains readable today because she knew the true horrors were like men explaining things to you and guests showing up unannounced.
Unannounced, yeah. I've seen that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're actually going to be productive.
We're going to do a 20-minute sprint.
Yes.
Yeah? Cool. I've got a book to edit, so... Or maybe I should do Trish's... I don't know.
I suggest just starting on your Clear the Decks list, because that will give you some clarity. And having made
the thing is, the book editing can't be on the Clear the Decks list. It's too big a job. Like, it needs to take up as much time as it needs to take up, and that's fine. But I actually want to spend some time on it. Like, I don't just want to put it aside for 2 weeks and take everything else off the list. So I might actually do some of that in this sprint, and then we'll see. If I'm not getting into it, if I'm too distracted by the list, I'll do the list.
Yep. Because I have been walking a very ungrateful dog this morning, I haven't even planned my day yet. So I'm going to get onto my planning and list making, and then see what I decide to do. So, 20 minutes. Let's get to work. Wow. That just flew by.
Yeah, I got a section done, and then I was like, this coffee has gone cold. So, and I did a little step on the cake. So,
Fantastic. And the cake's looking good.
I'll make sure I take the laptop through at the end and show you where I'm up to. At the moment, it is well, I had to cut one of the layers in half. So
Yeah.
she's asked to have, you know how you fill the middle with like lollies?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to have M&Ms on the middle or Smarties or something. So I had to cut out the middle, which of course meant I had to eat the middle. So
Yeah.
with a little
The
bit
things
of
we
taste
do.
test the buttercream icing just to make sure it's not poisonous. Yeah, the things we do. So yeah, I have cut through the cake with the bread knife sideways, holding my breath, and I have put what I've decided on the order of the icing colors, and then I've put one layer of icing, but the other cake's still cooling; it's not ready. So it's a good excuse to not keep mucking around with the cake.
Yeah. I was joined by George, who is on slightly better behavior. He stretched out on my bed, and yeah, hopefully this continues. But I feel since we got off to such a late start, let's get back to work.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. Let us know what you accomplished in the chat, but yeah, we're going to whoops, we do not want to do a 59-minute sprint.
I mean, no, that's a bad idea.
Okay, 20 minutes starting now. Wow.
Man, that went quick.
Yeah. George has stopped chasing rabbits in his sleep and is just asleep. Now that I mention him, he has hopped off the bed to find an alternative place to sleep. So yeah,
Oh, I am slightly jealous of that life.
yeah. I would like to be able to flop around and nap all day and have people tell me how clever I am and feed me.
It
Yeah,
does sound good, doesn't it?
yeah. We can't all get what we want, but
Oh, how'd you
I
go?
am work- I am working on my clearing the decks list. So
Nice.
yeah, made a bit of progress. Nothing to write home about. Hello, puppy.
I have
Okay.
looked over, edited something or other, messed with 853 words, so that's pretty good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Billy, Jenna, and Rosalind, I hope that you're making good progress on what you're working on today. Jenna, yep, it definitely feels like we are staff.
Yeah. I
I'm
already have
not
a cat
sure. Okay,
who
I'm
I'll show
going
you.
to.
I'm going to show you my cat. Hold on. I have to relocate slightly. Here we go. This is Chloe. Say hi,
Hi.
Chloe.
Oh, what beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're very cozy, aren't you?
Except that I went and opened the door. So now she's got a
Oh,
bit of a,
a
what do you
draft.
call it? A draft. Yeah. But oh well. While
Yeah.
I'm up, I'll check the temperature of my cake. Yeah. Shall we? I feel like maybe we should keep going though. Yeah.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
know we usually have a big break in the middle, but
We were so slow getting started that now that we've
well,
got momentum, I think we should keep
we were
it.
chatting. I might just keep you with me here and do a little bit of cake, but that's fine.
Excellent. Yeah.
Cool.
We have Cat Love, George Love, which is good. And Jenna just needs 80 words to cross 14,000 words. So that is exciting. So hopefully you'll get those in the next sprint, which will start now.
How are we doing?
Okay, so that was
In the
our
flow.
yep. Well done on icing the cake. George wants to come back inside the room now.
Of course. I've just left the door open and I'm like enjoying the fresh air, but my feet are just slowly dropping in temperature. Like, the rest of my body's fine, but my toes are like, do we need fresh air?
Yep. We have just enough time to squeeze in our last 20 minutes
Yeah,
spent
I
of
saw
the
that.
day.
Yeah,
I vote we do it. We go for it. I will
absolutely.
start the timer now, and then I'm going to run to the bathroom. I drank a
Nice.
lot of tea during this stream. Okay,
Ah,
20 minutes
the fuel you
starting
need.
now. Good. Okay. Sorry, got too excited there.
You're right.
Yeah.
Story excitement or doggy?
It is plotting excitement. I just figured out
Oh,
something, and I'm like, yeah, this makes
we
so
have
much
just
sense.
witnessed an epiphany.
Yeah. Oh, that's embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's awesome. Right, back to it.
Okay.
Nice job.
Yeah, exactly 12 o'clock.
Weird.
I completely missed that we lost Jenna to making dinner, but it was awesome to have your presence here, Jenna. Billy and
She sounds like she got lots done too.
Yes. Hi.
This is Elena.
Hi, Elena.
Yes, but there are other people watching the video. Elena's just got home from soccer, and now she's got to get ready for horse riding. And while she's out, I will make the house ready for her birthday party.
Wow, it is all on. That's like 2 activities and a party.
Too many
like,
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually we don't have much on. Usually it's just soccer and horse riding and no other plans for the whole weekend. But
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
You get them all out of the way on Saturday.
yeah, usually. Don't leave that there. Go stick it outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Billy says
But anyway.
have a birthday party. I second that.
Yeah.
Billy
So let's
and
open it.
Rosalind, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you had a productive morning with us. And yeah, I will be
I better
back.
go finish decorating this cake.
Yep. Amy, what are your plans tomorrow? This is probably
I can
not.
do this again. So we're having the sleepover tonight. So I will have somewhere between 2 and 5 10-year-old girls squealing
Yay.
in the lounge. Not to be, reinforcing stereotypes, but
It's 5.
they might not all be here in the morning though, darling.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are not sleeping over.
Yep.
But because of that, the 2 of us are not going to church.
Yeah.
I don't know if the boys might. But so I can be here again tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, we would love to have you as co-host. If you decide that you want to sleep in, that is fine too. But yeah.
Oh, just say I want to sleep in. Did you hear about the 10-year-old girls?
Yes. You
I
might
don't
like
think sleeping in's on them.
the-
My house is not that big. I will be able to hear them.
Yeah.
She's just
Okay.
down the
You
wall.
could try for that.
She's right through the wall.
That would be nice if I couldn't hear you, but
We
be
usually
honest.
whisper. Well,
I can hear you whispering from the other end of the house.
Whisper, yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well, we will be
All
back
right.
tomorrow. See you then. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.